some of us, I look around, a good number of you are probably practicing about the first decade, a certain few in the second decade, and probably even fewer in the third, and I'm not sure if we have any in the fourth decade of practice. Being in, my phrase, the second decade of practice, I remember the first South Asian Bar Association meeting that we had. At that time, it was not called the South Asian Bar Association. It was called I believe, the Indian American Bar Association, and we probably had 6 to 10 people attend. Very small group. The demographic in that group is completely different than what's exhibited here today. And I'm happy and I'm glad that we've grown. I understand that we probably have between 600 to 700 South Asian members. We probably had between 200 to 250 here. We've come a long way. We have a long way to go. We've, I think, established a footprint. But as I said, I think we can indeed go quite a bit further. My soapbox statement aside, I'm here to introduce somebody who I genuinely look up to. I've never told him this. I've always looked at him from afar, looked at his model of developing a business, and after all, that's what we're engaged in. This is a business. Some of you, I understand from the foundation, might view this as a little bit different, but as a business, if we're able to make money, we're able to help you. And because of the sacrifices that Rufus said, our parents made, they gave us the opportunity. They came to this country because they did not have as much of an opportunity that this beautiful country presents to us. If I was back home in India, I wouldn't have the opportunities I enjoy today. My children, my wife, and all the generous gifts that we're able to enjoy is because this great country, whether you're a Democrat, characterize yourself as a liberal, or a Republican, a conservative, a libertarian, whatever it is, it's because of the opportunities that we enjoy that we're able to be in this room and share this moment. But let me talk a little bit about Navneet. Navneet doesn't know this, but I think when I was in college, probably back in '89 or so, there was a paper called the India Journal. I was in banking, and I figured the bank was very heavy into lending, and you receive promotions based upon how much money you generate for the bank. And coming out, I called on India Journal. I kind of found out that there was a person named Chugh, Navneet, and that name stuck. And as I came out of law school, I figured, wait a second, Navneet is now a lawyer. He's a few years my senior. And not only that, he's also got an accounting degree. Look a little further. He's a financial planner. He's got an MBA. He's a true Indian son for the parents. Every degree possible, and probably working on his MD, PhD right now. For malpractice, I don't know what that means, but anyway. Why do I think Navneet is a trailblazer? Some of you know that Navneet's got his own practice, but many of you probably don't know that he's got well over 200 employees and probably a professional staff close to 100, if not more. I remember several years back that I was at a function for a mutual friend when Navneet said, we now have hired our 100th employee. He's now doubled that and then some. He's one of the founding members of SABA as we know it today, if not the individual who founded SABA. And Navneet, please, no offense if I said you were one of the founding in the plural, probably you are in the singular. He's also the founding member of NASABA, our national parent organization. He likes to find things. He's also a founding member of TIE Southern California, Again, for those of you who don't know what TIE is, it is probably the largest organization in the world of entrepreneurs, well over 11,000, 12,000 members. And if anybody had or has had a chance to go to any of the TIE events, whether it's Los Angeles, San Francisco, or any part of this country, you will see the dynamic and entrepreneurial nature of that organization. I can go on and on. The AIF sits on the board of I don't know how many different companies. But the most important characteristic, I think, and I value of Navneet is this. Regardless of his success, if you need help, if you approach, and I don't think you even need to approach, he is always someone who is willing to help, willing to offer advice, and if there is anything he can do for you, without even asking, he will lend that help. I've seen it personally. Jacob, my partner, who has also seen it personally, and I am, how do I say, so honored and pleased that I could make the introduction to Navneet as SABA's 2011 Trailblazer. I think he genuinely and deservedly deserves this award. And would you all please join me in congratulating Navneet as our Trailblazer 2011.
I promised you 1,000. I think I'm going to double that. I've told Abraham many times to convert and become a Sikh and wear a turban. He just won't listen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations, Judge Marshall. Congratulations, Rupa, on the award. Thank you all for attending. Thank you, SABA Foundation, for this honor, and the committee that worked very, very hard to find 3 honorees. All I can say is you've done a good job. Good to be speaking in front of all the SABA friends, and especially Judge Gandhi. I'm pretty sure you can sanction me for coming in late and charging me $500 for it. I too, like Rupa, have nightmares about federal court. 20 years ago, I had a federal court action, and the client wasn't paying me, and there was a hearing at 1:30. So I said, "I'll forget about it. I'm not going to go." I go home. I go home. How are you supposed to know this? They don't teach you this in Boston. So I go home. I used to live close to work, and I go home and I'm having dinner, and there's a call from my office. Judge so-and-so wants to talk to you. I said, what? So I talked to, and it's the judge's clerk, that the judge wants to see you at 3 p.m. I said, okay. So I ran to the court, and the lawyer, the opposing counsel, was waiting there, right, somebody from Beverly Hills, and he says to me, "You don't do much federal practice, do you?" I said, "No." I said, "What happened? My client's not paying me. I don't want to show up." and again, I made the mistake of saying this to the judge. I never heard the end of it from the judge, and the judge, Fred, this Beverly Hills lawyer, was standing next to me, and the judge turns to him and he says, "Counsel, what's your hourly rate?" And Fred says, $225 an hour. And the judge says, "How long have you been waiting?" And Fred, who's been nice to me now, he says, "Only 2 hours." So the judge says, "Write him a check of $450 before you go." But it's nice to be here, and especially Judge Gandhi sitting in front of me. And I asked Judge Gandhi recently, how are things at the federal court, and you're now on the bench. He said, it's good, and I said, how are you adjusting to the pay cut? He was a partner at Paul Hastings. And he says, it's okay. The check has lesser numbers on it, so it's simpler math.